Hello, my bookish friends, it's Jano, and today I'm doing my December new releases video. I cannot believe that we're already talking about December new releases, and it won't be long before I'm doing my 2026 new releases. That's such a scary thought. I don't know where this year has gone, but it has been full of amazing new releases, and hopefully December's ones are just as good. And I'm keen for a lot of these and cannot wait to get my hands on them. Although, like per usual, there are a couple on there that are a part of series that I haven't even read yet. But I've heard a lot of good things about the series, so I'm still interested in these new releases. So, let's get into this. The one thing I did notice about December is there's some really odd dates happening. Like, there's a few Monday published dates, and I don't know if that's because of it just being December or if the industry is starting to shift away from a regular Tuesday release. But I did find it strange that on the 1st of December, there's actually quite a few books coming out. So, yeah. The first of which is Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher. I have read a couple of T. Kingfisher books. I generally enjoy the storyline, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. It is classed as a fantasy horror, so yeah, I don't know. Seems fun. But this follows Selena, who travels to a remote desert town of Quartz Creek in search of her estranged aunt Amelia. She is desperate and short of options. Fleeing an unhappy marriage, she has exactly $27 to her name, and the only friend in the world is her dog, Cooper. On arrival, Selena learns Amelia is dead, but the inhabitants of Quartz Creek are only too happy to have a new resident. Out of money and ideas, Selena sees no harm staying in her aunt's lovely house for a few weeks, tending to her garden and enjoying the strange, desolate beauty of the desert. The people are odd but friendly and eager to help Selena settle into her new home. But Quartz Creek's inhabitants share their town with others, old gods and spirits whose claim to the land long predates their human neighbours. Selena finds herself pursued by disturbing apparitions, visitations that come in the night and seem to want something from her. Aunt Amelia owed a debt, now her god has come to collect. It sounds really interesting. I like the sound of this story, so I'm keen for it. I don't know where the snake eater aspect comes in. Maybe that's a part of who the god is or something like that. But I'm definitely keen for this book and cannot wait. Up next is Tender Cruelty by Katie Roberts. This is book number 9 in the Dark Olympus series. I've read the first book in this series, Neon Gods. I read it for book club at some point this year, and I really did enjoy it. So I sort of flew through it, and I just haven't picked up the rest since. So number 9 is now out. I need to get my butt in gear. Plus, there are novellas as well, so there's more than just 9. Up next, we have Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah McGall Runner. I'm so sorry for that pronunciation. I have definitely butchered that. But this is getting released on the 2nd of December. And this follows Camilla Zad, and her life has been built on a foundation of violence and vengeance. Every home she's known has been destroyed by war. As a daughter of an emperor's clan, she spent her childhood training to maintain his throne. But when her clansmen are assassinated by another rival empire, plans change. With her heavenly magic of Nur, Camilla is a weapon even enemies would wield, especially those in the magical scholarly city of Zakar. Hiding her identity, Camilla joins the enemy's army school full of jinn, magic, and martial arts, risking it all to topple her adversaries, avenge her clan, and reclaim her throne. So definitely keen on this one. Loving all the sort of training school tropes. It's just, I'm in the mood for it at the moment. So, yeah, this one sounds really good. And the cover is beautiful. I Oh yeah, be a fire bet on it. Duh, it's in the name. Up next, we have Fallen Gods by Rachel Van Dyken. I believe this is a traditional published release date. It has previously been published, or it's just a really pretty cover and it's coming up to say that it's a new edition. I don't know. I get very confused between Goodreads new releases because sometimes they're just putting that a newer edition is being released on there. I'm like, that's not a new release. This one sounds really good, and if it wasn't on that list, I don't know if I would have found it, so I'm adding it. And this one obviously is following some gods, but they say gods were myth, that the giants were only stories told around dying fires. They lied. The gods aren't dead, they're only sleeping, locked in mortal bodies scattered across the world, waiting for the right spark to wake them, and my father is the most ruthless of them all. He raised me to obey, to bleed, to be his blade when the time came. Now he's sending me to Endir University, a place filled with ancient bloodlines and deadly secrets, to steal back Mjolnir, the hammer of legend. If I fail, everyone I love dies. But Arik Eriksson wasn't part of the plan. He's the enemy's heir, distant, dangerous, and the one person I can't afford to fall for. He's closed himself off completely behind a wall of ice, but the more I am ordered to unravel him, the harder it becomes to remember where the lies end and I begin. So this one combines what's Thor? Norse mythology? I believe he's Norse. But yeah, it sounds like it's got some of that into it, which I absolutely love. I love anything with mythology, so if this is entwining mythology and romantasy, I'm here for it, and I'm excited. Up next on the 2nd of December is Crown Tide by Alex Astor. This is the 4th book in the Lightlark series, which I'm so looking forward to. I've read the first 2 books in this series and cannot wait for this one. I don't actually know how many there's going to be, if this is going to be the last one or not. But yeah, I have really enjoyed the first 2, so I'm not going to go into too much about what this is because it's the 4th book in the series, so full of spoilers, but looking forward to it. Also coming out on the 2nd of December is Sweet Venom by Rena Kent. I have heard a lot about this book and really a lot about Rena Kent, and I just need to dive into her work. And with a new release coming out, it's still a little bit more motivation to push me into that one. This is a 2nd book in the Vipers series. I don't know if they're interconnected standalones, so I'm kind of afraid to... Okay, it does say this book can be read on its own, but for better understanding of the world, it's recommended to have read Beautiful Venom first. Okay, so interconnected, but recommended to read them in order. So this one is a dangerous dark stalker hockey romance. Oh my god, I am here for it. Yes. I need to read the first one of this ASAP and get onto this because this sounds right up my alley for some spicy time. Yep. Okay. If you want some dark romance, dark sports romance, here you go. Up next, we have Duke by Jessica Peterson. This is a series of interconnected standalones from the Lucky River Ranch series. It's book number 4, and this one follows, obviously, Duke Rivers and Wheeler Rankin. So it is a cowboy romance and a small town romance. I haven't read any of these, but I've heard some really good things about this entire series. I can't remember what's book 1. Book 1 is Cash, yes, and then everyone was raving about Wyatt. So I need to get into this. I think there's going to be 5 in this by the sounds of it. So it's almost a completed series. So if I start now, by the time the 5th one comes out, I'll probably be up to it. I think it's going to be next year. Surely it's going to be next year. We're not going to make it wait too long. Oh, book number 5 is coming out in April, just for some spoilers for April release. So Get onto it now, and you've got till April, and then you'll be good. And then lastly, for the 2nd of December is There's Always Next Year by Leah and George M. Johnson. I don't know these. I'm assuming it's a husband and wife team, but that's probably making some assumptions. But anyway, this follows Andy, who is supposed to shed her 2-series student journalist persona and reinvent herself on New Year's Eve. Instead, she puked on her crush, dropped her phone in a fish tank, and managed to get her car stolen. Now she only has the first day of the year to stop the gentrification that's threatening her family's business, right her wrongs from the night before, and figure out why she feels so drawn to the electric new girl next door. How can Andy find her voice when everything's been turned upside down? And then Dominique is an influencer on the verge of securing a major brand deal that will ensure his future and family legacy, but when he runs into his former best friend, unresolved feelings emerge, and in a small town, there's nowhere to hide. Not from his cousin Andy, who has always seen him for his true self, not from his busybody manager Kim, whose favourite colour is money green, and certainly not from himself. When all the world's a stage, can Dominique raise to stardom without leaving the ones he loves behind? So this is a dual point of view book and a double love story, but it sounds interesting because it doesn't sound like the points of view are falling in love with each other. They have their own relationships, and I don't know how busy that's going to feel like, if it's going to feel like it's too much or not. So I'm interested to see how it goes, and I like that it's sort of a holiday story without being too much of a holiday story. Up next, we have Rejected by Jane and Eve. This one, I believe, is just a traditional publish, or it's even just a special edition publish. I wasn't quite sure. But again, if it didn't come up in the new release thing, I may not have seen it. I have seen a lot about Jane and Eve recently, so I'm hoping that because other books by them are getting really popular, that traditional publishers are picking up their backlist, which is super exciting. So this one is about a wolf shifter who grew up in a strong pack, so they should be living their best life. But after their father tried to kill the alpha, they're labelled as an outcast, traitor, and less than dirt. So when they can't take it any longer, they run. But the pack don't like losing their punching bag. So Torin, the alpha's son, drags her back before her first shift, a shift that will reveal her true mate. So this shift of romance just sounds really good. I love a good wolf shifter book. So coming out on the 9th of December is An Archive of Romance. This is a prequel novella for A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I'm not going to read out the description because I haven't read the second book, A Theory in Dreaming, and I don't want any spoilers for that one if I read out the description of this one. Even though it's a prequel, sometimes they do like have spoilers, and I just don't want to do that to anyone. So I enjoyed A Study in Drowning. I didn't like love it like other people were hyping it up to be, but I really did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the writing. So I am looking forward to reading A Theory of Dreaming and then coming back and reading this one. And who doesn't love some dark academia books? Up next, we have Dante by Sadie Sink Cade. This, again, I believe is a traditional published release date, and the series as a whole is the Chicago Ruthless series, and each book follows a Moretti sibling, and they're all interconnected standalones, like the spicy dark mafia books, which, yes please. So in this one, it says that I hate Dante Moretti. He is cold, calculating, and vicious. It's no secret that he's wiped out his former fiancée and her entire family on the eve of their wedding. He's the kind of evil that makes even the devil cry. Jeez. But that's not why I hate him. I hate him because he's taken the only thing I've I have left in this miserable world, my freedom. He has chained me to him because of a debt that I don't owe. I just have the misfortune to share the bloodline of the man who does. And now I'm trapped in his gilded cage, and the only thing I have left to do is run. And I try. I really do. But he is everywhere. Suffocating, all-consuming, intoxicating. He's a paradox, a man with a heart as cold as ice, whose passion rages like an inferno. Yes, please. Honestly, mafia romance, dark romance had me. So I definitely want to be picking this one up. And I really like the cover. Another book that I believe is a traditional published release is A Fate So Dark and Delicate by Sophia St. Germain. This is book number 4 in the Compelling Fates saga series, and I have been meaning to pick up this series and really want to get into it. So now that they're, I think, all been traditionally published, it's time that I get into it. Moving on to the 30th of December, and we've got In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. This is book number 4 in the When in Rome series. Again, these are interconnected standalone series. I accidentally read the 3rd book in this series that I believe it came out in January. Early this year. And that was Beg, Borrow, Steal. I didn't realize that they were a part of an overall series, so I would like to go back and read book number 1 and 2 before I read book number 4, but I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything by reading book 3 first. It just would have made more sense in the timeline of things. But this follows Madison Walker, who left Rome, Kentucky, determined to prove that she could make it in the culinary world. But after years of chasing success in New York, all she has to show for it is a shattered confidence and a desperate need for a fresh start. So she's coming home. And then we also follow James, who has always played it safe, keeping his head down and doing what is expected of him in the family business, and has never contemplated anything different until now, when Madison's happiness is on the line. He's loved her quietly for years, knowing she's never seen him more than an annoyance. Now that she's back, he's determined to change that, even if it means he can only ever be her friend. It just sounds sweet. I think it's going to be perfect for, well, what is summer for us, so a nice, sweet summer read for me, and I'm looking forward to it. So, I don't know, maybe in December I'll binge this series. We'll see. Then we have We Who Will Die by Stasia Stark. I'm so excited for this one. Everyone is raving about this book at the moment, so I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And this is a vampire romantasy, so yes to all the things. So the description of this has: life in the perilous Thorn district is a constant battle for Avil and her younger brothers, and the vampire standing on her doorstep is about to turn their world upside down. Faced with an unthinkable choice, Avil makes a magically binding vow to do the impossible: kill the Empire, an ancient vampire created by the god Ambrose. But first she must enter the Sunderling, the arena where only the fastest, strongest, and deadliest survive long enough to be selected for the Emperor's elite guard. She quickly draws the ire of Primus, the power figure charged with protecting the Emperor, but the vampire under the armor is the last person Avil expects to encounter in the Emperor's court. When her brothers' lives are in the balance, Avil has no choice but to ally with the man who once shattered her heart, and with the Emperor's sadistic son, Rorik, two vampires whose motives are impossible to pin down. Rorik holds the key to understanding the powers Avil is developing, abilities that would put a price on her head if discovered by the Emperor. To survive the arena and complete her mission, Avil must get to the bottom of a conspiracy that will change everything she thought she knew about herself and the two vampires who are deeply entwined in her destiny. I mean, it just sounds so good. It's so interesting. It's just unfortunate it comes out on the second last day of the year, so I've got to wait till then to read it. But I am definitely keen for this one. Then we have An Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole. This is a modern day dark academia fantasy with a twist. So it's listed as fantasy, dark academia, horror mystery. So sounds interesting. It's giving me like Ninth House sort of vibes. And it says it's perfect for fans of Babel and A Deadly Education. I wasn't a fan of A Deadly Education, so I'm hoping it's more Ninth House. But in this we go to Warren University, which has stood amongst the Ivy elite for centuries, built on the bones and forbidden magic of its prized BIPOC students, hiding the root of a secret society that will do anything to keep their own powers burning bright, no matter who they must sacrifice along the way. Ellery Morgan is determined to prove that she belongs at Warren University, an Ivy League school whose history is deeply linked to occult rumors and dark secrets. But as she settles into her freshman year, something about the ornate buildings and shadowy paths feels strangely familiar. And with every passing day, that sense of deja vu grows increasingly sinister. Despite all logic, despite all reason, despite all rules of reality, Ellery knows one thing to be true. She has been here before. And if she can't convince brooding legacy student Hudson Graves to help her remember the past that seems determined to slip through her fingers as if by some insidious magic, this time she may lose herself for good. So, yeah. This one sounds really interesting. Like, I'm keen to see how the story evolves. And what other people, like, as more and more people read it, see what they think of it too. And then lastly, I have Bluebird Gold by Daphne Perry. I absolutely loved Shield of Sparrow, so I've been meaning to pick up Daphne Perry's contemporary romance books. So I think I will start with this one because it is the first book in the Lost Legends series. So the description for this is: living in Dalton, Montana was not what I had planned for this winter, but after my father's sudden death, I uprooted my life to move to his tiny lakeside cabin and settle his estate. My friends tell me to sell his place and move on, but this winter is my chance to say goodbye. To remember a man... Oh, I can't. I'm going to start crying reading this. Father deaths get me. Okay, I don't know why that really, triggered. Just putting it out there. My father's still alive, but anytime I think about him potentially passing, I'm like, whew. Okay, calm myself, get rid of the red splotchy eyes that I can now see is happening in Corpsey. Okay, take 2. But after my father's sudden death, I uprooted my life to move to his tiny lakeside cabin and settle his estate. My friends tell me to sell his place and move on. But this winter is my chance to say goodbye, to remember a man who loved tales of Montana lore. Taking a temporary teaching job seemed like a perfect way to keep myself busy on lonely days. Cleaning out the cabin should have been simple, except the more I learn about my father's life, the more questions I have about his death. The last thing I need is a crush on Sheriff Cozy Rains. Not only is his son my student, but his life is rooted in Montana while mine is headed anywhere else. Yet, as I uncover a trail of strange clues Dad left about a lost legend of Montana gold, staying away from Cozy is not an option. Neither is denying the attraction between us. And my winter of healing becomes a race for answers. I come to Montana to bury a past. Now I'm falling for a man who might just be my future. And either I will solve this mystery, or the person in Dalton determined to hide the truth will make sure I die trying. Sounds like a mix of different things going on, but I'm definitely keen to pick this one up and give it a go and see how I go with Daphne Perry's contemporary romances. So that is it for my December new releases. Obviously, this is not all the books that are getting released in December. So if there are other books that you would recommend that are being released in December, leave them down in the comments below so that I can check them out, so that other people can check them out. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up if you like. If you don't want to post a comment down below, chuck in some mountains or something for Montana and for Bluebird Gold. And I will see you all next time. Bye!